Hello, everybody. This is Catholic Dad, episode number 288. Priests or schismatic priests are abusive husbands and tyrannical fathers. Wow, that's a hard statement. Like, it's not easy to take. And then before you, if you're listening, you decide to get all woke and angry at me, just stop for a second because I'm trying to explain something about our rightful position within the church. And I could be wrong, by the way, but I think I'm probably right on this. And hopefully I have some commenters that aren't all angry and mad about the world, mad trads and sad trads, or whatever they are, you know. So why are schismatic priests abusive husbands and tyrannical fathers? So let's go back to the Garden of Eden. What happened in the Garden of Eden? Just to recount the story, Adam and Eve are there. They're living in paradise. They have the tree of knowledge they're not supposed to eat from. Well, anyway, a serpent comes. Who does the serpent come to? The serpent comes to Eve. She's more inclined to emotion, so he knows he can manipulate her. And he says, hey, listen, you want to eat from the tree of knowledge. What is Adam doing during this time? He's actually watching it occur. He knows she's not supposed to eat from the tree of knowledge, but he allows it to happen under the guidance of the serpent. So once Eve eats from the tree of knowledge, what does she do? She turns to Adam and she says, hey, eat this apple. I want you to join me. And what does he do? Instead of being the rightful leader and saying no, he eats the apple. From that moment on, the fallen nature of man is this, that 99% of the wives want to dominate the husbands, and 99% of the husbands do not want to be rightful leaders of the family. Instead, they want to be subservient and please their wives. That's the fallen nature of man. So that's hard to digest, and just try to think about that for a while. Rewind this and listen to it a couple times. I know it's coming across rather quickly. Well, anyway, so a priest, what is a priest? Well, the priest is married to Christ's church, so he's the husband of the church, okay? And he's supposed to sit there and love his wives like he loved his church, right? So Christ says, you know, wives be obedient to your husbands, but husbands will love your wives like you loved his church, like he loved his church. And so here's the deal: the priests are supposed to love the church like he loved his church. Right? That's what they're supposed to do. So never abandon her. They're never supposed to leave. They're always supposed to stay and attempt to be the rightful leaders within the church. Okay? And so when priests decide to leave their bride, which is the church, and get excommunicated or, you know, defrocked or whatever it is and just kicked out of the church, essentially they're abandoning their spouse, which means that they're abusive husbands. They're not caring for the thing that they have the divine responsibility to care for. And they may make the argument, by the way, oh, well, the church changed so much. Oh, she's not acting the way I wanted her to. Oh, she decided to have communion in the hand. Oh, she decided to have female altar servers. Oh, all these horrible things. Oh, I just can't live with her anymore. I have to leave. I have to leave. It's an abusive husband. That's how divorce occurs, priests. So listen up. If you decide to leave and go form your own church, or like call yourself Roman Catholic but be excommunicated, well, then you've actually decided upon divorce yourself. You become an abusive husband. Now, why are you a tyrannical father? Because, right, you have rightful authority as a father, but you also have to bow to rightful authority, which is his church, right, and also God. And so when the parishioners come along with you and you're actually, you're an abusive husband and you're not within his church and you didn't stick by her no matter what, and then B, you're trying to lead all the children in that direction as well, you're actually being a tyrannical father to the children. You're telling them, you have to do as I say, even though it's not rightful authority. So this is something to think about for all the people out there that decide the magisterium is too corrupt, that the magisterium is wrong, that the magisterium just doesn't have rightful authority anymore, and we're going to leave it, particularly the priests that decide this. Because our whole goal is to get to heaven. Christ tapped the apostles to form a church. And I've said this before, but I'm going to say it again. Out of the first 12 apostles, what happened? Well, one of them, Peter, denies Christ 3 times after Christ already said he would, and then Peter actually lies to Christ and say, no, I won't, Lord. Oh, well, he did, right? And oh, by the way, he actually gave Peter divine authority for the church. That's the supreme pontiff. That's the first pontiff. Another holy apostle, or unholy apostle, Judas, turns Christ in for death. And then what do the other 10 do? Well, they flee out of fear, except for John. John sat at the foot of the cross. So from the very beginning, by the way, the apostles were corrupt, right? The church was corrupt. It was falling apart. Oh, it was too much to handle. I need to run. I need to flee. I need to hide, right? That's what the priests do when they schism from the church. And so our goal is not to run from the church. Our goal is to take care of her and be the rightful authority and the rightful leader in the church, particularly the priests that decide to leave. And oh, by the way, and so don't abuse your spouse, priests. And I'm telling you this as a husband, as a husband of a wife. You're a husband of a wife too, the church, right? Sometimes the wife acts in ways that I just don't understand. It just happens. And sometimes I want to throw my hands up and run. That's what I want to do. But I don't do that. And I never will do that because it's my divine responsibility to stick by her, much like it's your divine responsibility to stick by the church. Don't go running because there's Eucharist in the hand. Don't go running because there's female altar servers. Don't go running, for the million other things, all the wonky new music in the church. Hey, I happen to agree with you, by the way, but when you run from her, you run from your spouse. And oh, by the way, all the children you bring with you, you're tyrannical to them because you're teaching them to run from their mother. Think about that. Well, anyway, just something to think about. This is Catholic Dad making you think about it. Please like or subscribe, get the Mass, pray the daily rosary. And by the way, do stick by the church no matter what happens, because once you leave the church is over. And once the church is over, what if Christ doesn't come again? Then that means the Lord Jesus Christ died in vain. And I would not want to be responsible for that, and I don't think you should either. So take care, everybody. God bless. Be loyal to His holy church and do the right thing.